you know, as the old adage goes, you want one of your best hitters to get as many swings as you can get him.
Without a doubt.
And that would be the answer.
Yeah, and Ryan's turned himself into a more consistent player, a more consistent hitter, and obviously I just gave him the broadcaster's jinx. Pops up to short second base.
It's one, gentlemen.
But yeah, I mean, he this is his second full year in the conference, and he's only going to get better.
I got to give a shout out too. You know, Ryan plays for one of my old coaches I played for many years down here, Big Dino Thompson.
Oh yeah.
From Gulf Shore Sports over in St. Pete.
Yeah.
And, you know, Ryan actually plays in the same old league.
Oh really?
Team out at Eddie Seymour Park. So it's good to see him playing with some of my old chums from Danny's and Hooters and some of the teams over there in St. Pete. Kennington chops one.
Looks like the Backman boys a little anxious here. They just calm down, sit back, and wait for that pitch to get there.
I have to tell you, though, if I was one of the Backman boys and I seen the way these balls been flying out of here, I don't know that I wouldn't be a little anxious either.
I agree.
All right, hands coming down. Play.
Take a deep breath.
Yep. Kennington smoked that ball right at the third baseman.
2 gentlemen.
No makes a heck of a play down there. That ball was hit hard.
Hey, how you doing?
So, you know,
let me know when you're
maybe a little bit pregame jitters, maybe a little anxiety, but they'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll get settled in here soon.
Yep.
Both teams.
Yep.
All right, hands coming down.
Here's one of the nicer guys in the circuit, Orlando Castillo. What a great guy he is. And he drills that ball up the middle. He's going to take a turn and come on back. Got my man Tony Verdugo down there coaching first base. Reels him back in.
Yeah. Took a middle of the road pitch. Stayed on it.
Yep.
Drove it right back up through the middle instead of trying to yank it. Did a real good job at that bat.
Yep. And that's another, you know, we were talking about Harvey, you know, Castillo, he's a real smart hitter. I mean, he kind of takes what they give him. You know, if the outfield's back a little bit, he'll hit in front of him. If they creep in, he'll hit it over him. I mean, this guy obviously has the ability to hit one out of here, but that ball there is hit very well. That's
Chitty Bags.
That's
over
on the
wall.
backside. Yeah, did it make the?
I think it did.
That ball was hit well.
Hit it over Helmer's wall. Yeah, he sat on that one pretty well. So that gets them off the Schneid. So now they can relax, get settled in. See if they get a few more runs here this inning.
Here
2
comes,
outs.
Big Sam Lopez.
Hands coming down. Play.
From Northern California. He's one of
through the 5-6 hole.
He's one of my ex-compadres from GTL. Sammy's a good hitter, good guy. You know, really works at his game. Has worked on his defense. His defense the last 3 or 4 years is pretty good.
Yeah, that's one thing that sometimes gets overlooked on the guys that fly from the West Coast to the East Coast, you know, before a tournament. You know, it takes them a little bit to get acclimated.
Yeah.
With the time change and everything. So, you know, I don't know how these guys do it day in, day out, but you know, they find a way to make it work. So hats off to them.
Yeah, and they have to do it a lot more than the guys that live on the East Coast.
Sure.
So they, you know, they've already got kind of a, you know, their whole clock is off. But yet, you know, you see it year after year. These guys from California, like Salas, like Sammy, Vic Cordova when he was playing. You know, Bryson Baker. These guys come. Dennis Ruley come over from the West Coast, and when they get here, they just, you know, amaze you every time with how good they play and how good they hit. It's testimony to them, you know, playing many years in the conference and being used to that.
So you saw Brian Logan blister a single through the middle. That brings up Reggie Schulte, left fielder.
Hands coming down. Play.
It's interesting, you know, Reggie's got a very, very closed stance. Watch how his feet adjust when the ball comes in. It's kind of cool to watch, especially from up here where you have a really good vantage point.
Yeah, it almost just keeps him closed, so he's not flying open.
Right. Yeah, he won't step in the bucket very often, that's for sure.
Allows him to see the ball all the way through.
That
and
ball
blisters.
ripped. That's going to plate. That'll plate Logan.
Time.
So with 2 outs, Shop's done some damage here. There you can see a slow motion view of Reggie's, how he attacks the ball out of a closed stance.
Level swing. He stayed on that one plane and
Yep.
stayed behind it.
All right, hands coming down, sir.
Now here's kind of the opposite here. If you, more open and then going closed.
Different swings,
Yep.
different situation, different direction where they want to go with the ball. So obviously Matty had a plan.
Right.
He looked for a pitch. He got the
LC,
pitch.
let me know.
Pushed to the right side. Played it Schulte.
You can see there how he brings his hips through it.
But kept his head still.
Kept his head still. Exactly right. So now all of a sudden we went from no runs to 5 runs just like that. And here comes my main man, L.C. Watson from the great state of Texas. L.C.
Hands coming down, sir.
He's
Play.
one of the former players I've had the great pleasure of coaching and being around.
Play.
Like L.C. a lot. He's a good guy. He skies that ball to right field, and that's going to be caught by Dis Bennett.
Here we go, Jim. Let's hustle in and out.
So we'll go to the top of the second, 5-0 Backman.
USSSA is the world's premier sports organization with over 4 million participants. The top youth baseball stars compete at the Wilson DeMarini Elite World Series and the Louisville Slugger Championship, looking to qualify for the USSSA National Youth Championships. In fast pitch, the top teenagers are on the field with USA Select, and the best in the world are on the USSSA Florida Pride. Nationwide Conference USSSA provides the ultimate challenge in slow pitch softball. At every level, you play the best when you play USSSA.
All right, hands coming down, sir. Play.
So here we are in
Cleared
the
it out.
top of the second. Backman leads TG Brand 5-0. And last game we
Yep, I got
noticed that VCH against Rosmondo, each team had their own jerseys that it was kind of like a benefit
Play.
or a
Tribute.
tribute to
Strike.
a certain person that they're familiar with on their team. And as we look at the Backman Shop uniforms this evening, they have something very similar. Lauren Hill, not the singer, but the basketball player out of the Cincinnati, Indiana area. She passed away this past season. I think it was right before the Cincinnati event or mid-season. She passed away with brain cancer.
Down.
And Jerry Backman, the marquee sponsor of Backman Shop, became very close with their family, with Lauren, Brent and Lisa, her parents. So it was it's a tribute, and this is something that Jerry wanted to do for the team, wanted to do for Lauren herself, for her parents. So it's one of those heartwarming things that we talk about, that these guys are just more than ball players. They're,
Right.
they're people just like you and I. So
Right.
For Jerry Backman to do that, it's just phenomenal. It's a tribute to her. She actually, Lauren, and I'm going to read through this.
Coming down, sir.
Her parents
Play.
accepted the Best Moment ESPY Award this
Right.
season at the ESPYs
I remember that. Yep.
for Lauren Hill.
Yep.
I mean, that's awesome.
And that was very, very heartwarming, and it's one of those feel-good moments in sports. When I know they covered it on 2 or 3 different
Right.
major networks, and it was that's where you see
Hands
sports
coming down,
really
sir. I'll
kind
put
of
it in when he's up there.
almost
Well,
give
you
back to
well,
the
you put-
families and you know, the participants of the sport. So,
Well, you put the sport on the back burner for a short time.
well, we're joined in here in the broadcast booth by a legend of softball himself, Denny Helmig of Worth Sports. And Denny, what's your assessment of what you see out here so far?
There you go. We could have been at work today, right?
I see that the ball is really flying out of here left and right. And, with this equipment and the ball, it's a pretty entertaining game.
Well, yeah, it's
really.
kind of what we talked about earlier. Is that the players want this, the fans want this. This is softball is an offensive game. So I think if you put the 44 Classic M in play, you're not going to have the wow moments. You're not going to have the great plays. You're not going to have the long balls that fly over the wall. So I think the stadium ball in this venue is perfect.
And the other thing, I think, if, like you said, if they went to a deader ball and maybe did away with the home run limits, would add something to it too, and rekindle the participation somewhat.
Sure.
Well, there's an old saying that chicks dig the long ball, and when these fans come out here at night and everything, and there's a party atmosphere out here at Champion Stadium. They love watching them balls go over that facade out there and over that clock over there. So it's but again, throughout most of the conference, you have home run limitations, so that kind of evens the playing field.
And it's a shame that the softball public can't view the quality of the athlete at this level playing. You tell them when they're playing three-man outfield in a minor league stadium, and they thought, oh, well, that's easy. I can go out and punch a ball here and punch a ball there.
Right.
When you watch it, you see these guys run alley to alley and flag balls down. I mean, it's really, really impressive.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we talked about earlier, is that, the player of today is more of an athlete than it was 20 years ago.
Without a doubt. 20 years ago, you were hiding 5 catchers somewhere and trying to figure out where you could hide them where they're not going to hurt you.
And since there was no home limits back in those days,
that's all you wanted.
You just had to score more runs than your team, than the other team. So, a lot more comes into play nowadays. One with the equipment, another with the athlete. The home run limit. Obviously, we don't have a home run limit here, but during the regular season, you have home run limits, so that comes into play as well. So there's a lot of different things that go on.
And the bigger base, the bigger base pass but I mean, you can just watch guys run the bases. In the increase now tonight, we haven't seen that many, but during the year, you guys have both seen where there's so many, much more double plays and stuff. And the other thing I like about the unlimited home runs, the fear of someone getting hurt, a pitcher getting hit, doesn't come into play as much.
Diminishes it greatly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hands coming
Well, this guy here can hit him a long, long way.
Yeah, he hits it pretty far.
You're up.
And he's going to get better and better the more he plays. People think, well, he's major. A guy playing minor league baseball or even major league baseball come out here and hit this easy floating ball up there.
Now Ryan was a high draft pick in the
he was
the
a top
MLB draft.
He was a top draft pick.
I mean, he's you don't get those kind of credentials and not be a pretty good athlete. So.
It takes a little bit to change from a baseball swing to a slow pitch swing. And it's like you said, Denny, he's going to get better. I mean, you can just tell from this year to last year, he's already improved. So, sky's the limit for him.
He seems like the type of guy, too, that works at it. So, he's not going to take his talent for granted and just come out here and figure he'll work at it and get better.
Right.
And he's not that bad defensively either for his size.
He's actually got a really good arm.
He's got
a real good arm.
Yeah.
So he's definitely one of the bright stars in Conference U Triple SA here.
Let me ask you two guys: how can you improve this game where it would be more fan friendly to watch on TV if you were able to get a big time TV deal? What would you guys do to speed things up, say?
Well, I think one of the things you'd have to do is, you almost have to look at maybe shortening the game. Maybe an inning, play 6 innings instead of 7. The home run, I like the home run limitations. I really do, because it does expose how good athletes you have on the field, and also how good defensively they are.
Play.
But I think that when you look at how softball's evolved with all the technology and everything that's out there at our disposal now, with the iPhones and the Android devices, iPads, everything, all the apps that all these like USSSA has where you can watch these games. I think that it's trending toward that. But you also have to, there's only so much time, and these games sometimes can take a long time.
What you mentioned about the home run limits, I think like when the game's played on the 300-foot fences, it brings the infielders into play more. But when you play in a baseball facility like this, you see the more spectacular outfield plays.
Right.
No doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, from our vantage point up here, I mean, look how much grass, look how much area these three outfielders have to cover.
Yep.
Play.
And look how deep they're playing, too. I mean, your left fielder's probably playing it at 320 mark. The guy in center's probably at 370.
Yep. Where if they're in a softball field, they're at 290 to, 295 maybe, depending on the hitter. Ball skied and caught. That's going to retire the side.
So, Denny, you going to stay with us for the next couple innings?
Yeah. I think there's some interesting things that we can talk about here.
Yeah.
Well, we'd be remiss without mentioning that Mr. Helmick here is not only a USSSA Hall of Famer, but he's also one of the founding fathers of steel sports. Denny, maybe you can talk a little bit about that when we get back to the next inning here.
Okay, I'll be glad to do that.
I'm sure the
It's
fans would like to know.
in my first life.
Yep. So we'll be back, folks. Got a 7-0 score here at the end of 2 innings.
Since day one, Combat has been at the forefront of composite bats. In today's game, where margins for error are small, Combat's larger sweet spot means our bats reach maximum performance over a wider span. It's the difference between a home run or a warning track, a base hit through the middle or hitting into a double play. It's the difference between winning and losing.
Let's go. Come on.
Backman 7-0, and that line drive there by Billy Back is caught by Logan. So we got one out. Brings up Cole Campbell. So Denny, we were kind of talking before we took our break. You were obviously one of the founding fathers of steel sports with Dave Neal and his family. Talk to us a little bit about how you've seen equipment evolve through the years, not only in the bats but in the balls.
Well, I mean, it's night and day with what they were playing with back in the 70s, and even in the 80s, and even in the early 90s until the birth of the composite. Now, the balls really, until they came up with the 52 hot dots and the lower compression ball, the balls basically are, the ball that they're playing with, the stadium ball, is pretty much the same ball that they were using in the all through the 80s and into the 90s. But the big difference is this composite versus aluminum.
Right.
I mean, it's night and day.
Yeah,
you had guys tinkered with the aluminum, tried different things, putting tennis balls in them, putting foam in them. But, this kind of works reverse. I mean, guys are taking these bats and popping the tops off and thinning them out even more than what they actually are. But in a tournament like this where they regulate it somewhat, check them, most of these bats here, I mean, I guess when they start the tournament, every one of them passes.
Right.
Or they're thrown out.
Right.
Yeah, and I think what they're doing every evening, from what I understand, is before the next day starts, they're retesting these bats.
That's a good idea.
That's a real good idea. Because as you both know, the more you hit these bats, the hotter they get.
Right.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
morph.
now you may, when you bring it in for inspection, it might be at 230, but
Yeah,
if
you put a few more
if
Himbacks
it's
on it. It's down at the line.
And if you notice watching some of these teams, some of the teams got 3 or 4 guys using the same bat, which is even more breaking it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's become a science. You know, these guys dial them in. You know, they get their 3 or 4 bats at the beginning of the season. You know, they take BP, they dial them in, get them ready. That's their gamer or gamers.
Yep.
And you know, it's ready to go.
You know what amazed me is walking around here talking to different players, how many of these guys have their own testing machines.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that shocked me that they would.
Well, they get them
spend that
down
kind
to
of
where
money.
they get them down to where they want them, and you know, Dennis alluded to, they call them gamers, and
Yep.
when they're game ready, they put limited swings on them and save them for game time. So
Well, you know, you would figure that each team would have a machine, but when it starts getting individuals buying them, the only question I would have is the inconsistency of some of the different testing machines and the way they're testing them. If they're testing them in one spot, if they're turning them, if they're different spots on the barrel.
Well, and that's another, you know, temperature comes into play as well.
Yep.
You know, whether it's a warm evening like it is here in Orlando, or if you're playing up in Minnesota where it's a little bit cooler, you know, it has effect on the material itself.
And just like the ball, you know, people don't understand. They think, well, that ball's mush. But urethane is affected by humidity
Absolutely.
and temperature.
Correct.
Here's Steve Whaley,
I was
Dallas, Texas area.
I was kind of surprised watching the games early this
He
morning.
is out.
Nice play.
Great
Reggie
throw,
Schulte.
great tag. Yep, Reggie put the ball in the money, and
Well, TG Brand scored 4. I mean, they Well, we're here jibber jabbering. They played it when they played it 4. So
can you spell that?
jibber jabber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jibber
Jabber.
jabber.
All right, folks, that's going to do it here for the top of the third. But TG Brand is back in the game, and they trail by 3 at the going into the bottom of the inning here. It's 7-4. Backman will be back.
Now at softball.com, new lower prices on all of the top 2015 slow pitch bats. Only at softball.com can you save $200 on your next softball bat. Prices start at just $29.88. Over 110 models to choose from all of the best brands in the game. Shop online anytime at softball.com, America's premier online superstore and proud sponsor of USSSA.
USSSA is the world's premier sports organization with over 4 million participants. The top youth baseball stars compete at the Wilson DeMarini Elite World Series and the Louisville Slugger Championship, looking to qualify for the USSSA National Youth Championships. In fast pitch, the top teenagers are on the field with USA Select, and the best in the world are on the USSSA Florida Pride. Nationwide Conference USSSA provides the ultimate challenge in slow pitch softball. At every level, you play the best when you play USSSA.
Hey, Superman.
Yep. My man Gonzo down there. BCH.
He had a good game earlier today.
He really did.
I was surprised how well the ball flew this afternoon when the temperature here was in the mid-90s.
Yeah, it was flying
still
out
flying.
of here.
Okay, we're back, folks. And here's Reggie Schulte. Again, he's got that unique closed stance. And he skies one to left field, and this is going to be collected. John Gastineau.
Tell you, you got to have a pretty good arm now to throw these balls from where these outfielders are flying.
Oh, yeah. Well, Gas has been he's been around the circuit a little bit now. He's he played for West Coast New Breed a few years ago, which was one of our worth teams. He's a solid player.
Now this this Crawford here, he was a
man.
late season pickup for Shop.
Holy smokes. Oh, Steve's all right.
Boy, it looked like he caught a forearm right to his forehead.
Yeah. Denny, Crawford was a late season pickup, and I was talking to Corny about this earlier, is that Backman had a lot of injuries this season. And bringing in Matty Crawford and Reggie Schulte, Jeff LaHare, they've really filled in really, really nice. Neil Haglund, he was out for the season.
Kennington was out for a while too.
Kennington was out for a little bit. So there's been some injuries. Players here and there. So the guys that have stepped in have really done a nice job to get the Backman Shop team to where they are today. We've got the trainers checking on Whaley, see how he's doing. Just looked like they were both.
Ooh, they just showed a replay of that. Boy, they hit right square.
Yep.
Looks like they were looking at the ball instead of each other, huh?
Well, you know what happens a lot of times, too, when we talk about it with outfielders is, Whaley's a right-handed thrower. He's got his glove on his left hand. He's going to his glove side. The other guy's got to go across his body. So that, that's probably Whaley's ball right there. But, sometimes in the heat of the moment, you're playing hard and hustling. And, we've seen that happen a lot. You see that a lot like on a shallow fly ball hit where the shortstop's going out and the outfielder's coming in.
Right.
Them kind of in-betweeners. So, looks like Steve's okay down there. He's a tough guy.
I wonder if they have any, I bet they don't, concussion protocol.
I don't know. It looks like
here.
he
I mean, you can tell
struck
he's
his jaw somewhere. He's kind of adjusting his mouth a little bit there. So, but like I said, old Steve's a tough bird. He'll be all right.
Who would have thought 20 years ago the pitchers in this game would be wearing shin guards and helmets and pitching?
I could tell you I would. It brings up, speaking of pitchers, here comes L.C. Watson, another Dallas, Texas product. Him and Steve Whaley are good buddies. I'm sure they probably have taken some BP together and played in some pickup tournaments together. LC draws a walk. Let me ask you something, DT. Have you ever seen, I have never seen LC Watson and Randy Quaid, the actor. I've never seen them both in the same room.
Place.
I'm starting to wonder a little bit if maybe that is him.
It's quite possible.
If any of you fans out there ever saw the movie Independence Day where Randy Quaid's flying the jet up into the mothership.
Yeah.
That reminds me of L.C. Watson.
I have seen some acting ability.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Behind you.
See, there's a case right there with Jeff LaHare. Instead of hitting the ball through the hole, he was trying to place the ball.
Yep.
Push it.
Yeah. And you see the result. It could have been a double play.
Yep. Which really hurts you with Mr. Harvey stepping into the box.
Correct. So I'd like to see players take a full cut and drive it through there.
I think that one there is leaving the arena.
I think that might make it out of here. Wow.
Ball's into the next area code.
Yep. That ball landed somewhere around Ocala. Kennington, he was
spun right out of it.
Yep.
Still got a ball game here.
All right, folks. It's 11-4 Backman here as we shift to the top of the fourth inning here at Champion Stadium. We'll be back.
Let's go. Hi, Mike.
All right, so here we are in the top of the fourth. Backman Shop leading 11-4. Ryan No flies out to Reggie Schulte in left and brings up John Greer.
I got to say, I do like them uniforms TG's wearing. The old
Like
Kansas City Royals. Yeah, they look pretty sharp. That ball's ripped.
You know, the play that you
He's
don't
going
see
second
now.
here. Look at this. Oof.
The play that you don't see anymore in the game that you saw years ago would be the shortstop going in the hole, catching the ball, spinning, and throwing the first. If this ball isn't hit right at you,
right,
forget it.
Yep.
Yeah,
forget it.
Yeah, there's no 2-3 steps, catch and throw. It's either a step and dive, and then you got to jump up and try to get up there to make the play. But
there's another one of your kind of try to push it in the hole swings.
You can tell by the spin on the ball.
I know years ago when first played against three-man outfields, the way you attacked it was to hit the ball off the pitcher's left ear, and you try to hit the gaps, but you don't see that much.
I mean, look at where the second base umpire is at.
Right.
That's where you want to aim.
Exactly.
And that's just going to fly right into that gap. Look for that pitch on the outer half. And just drive it through that hole.
Back in the early 70s, when you first saw the teams play the three-man, the pitcher would try to throw the ball flat and in. The third baseman would almost play on the line, and the shortstop would play, and the middle infielder would both play left, and the pitcher would drop into, straight back into that area. But now, the way the ball reacts and stuff, you got to kind of cover more of the diamond. Quick inning there.
Yep. TG Brand eggs that inning. They'll take us to the bottom of the fourth here with Backman Shop leading 11-4. We'll be right back.
Next.
Expected wait time, 55 minutes. Your call is important to us. Thank you for your patience.
In the nation, we know how it feels when you aren't treated like a priority. We do things differently.
Okay, folks, we're back here in the bottom of the fourth. That ball is lined sharply to center field and caught. Castillo hit that ball hard, and nice play by the center fielder.
Yeah, Backman's going to need to put about 3 or 4 more up just to kind of separate themselves from TG.
And this is the, this is that point in the game that, we see all the time where, as you alluded to, they either separate away or they let these guys hang around a little bit. And,
right.
Then who knows what can happen.
Right.
That ball's hit high, and I think that's gone. Yes, sir. Shitty Bags just put the bat on there and just, kind of drove it right on out of here. Nice swing.
That is what you call Z-gone.
Z-gone. There's a couple of our fans still around here. Older gentleman,
actually, I
probably
think
his grandson.
That's Chitty. That's Chitty's dad and his boy.
Well, that's a very nice picture there.
It is a good picture.
So you got 3 generations of softball out here on the field.
That's right. Good swing by Sammy.
Yep. Sammy does have quick hands. I mean, he's another one of those guys that gets in that box and swings with a purpose.
Let's go, B.
It's a nice shirt that kid's got, DT. Did you get that for him?
I think I did.
Is that a DT special?
I think that's a DT special. Right off the presses.
I'd give your cell phone number out on the broadcast here tonight. You can take some orders, but that ball skied to center and caught. Again, we talk about where some of these guys
are making their outs.
Yep. And it's right in that cone. And you really, if you can't hit it 425 feet, you're not hitting it out in that area there. You've really got to start kind of locking in and trying to get the ball down the line if you're going to try to hit it out here. This is a pretty deep park. I've seen it happen a lot too through the years. Here's Reggie Schulte back again. He hits a hard ground ball to the shortstop, and that's going to be thrown over, and he missed the tag at first, and he will be safe.
Great hustle.
Yes, sir.
He doesn't hustle on that play, he gets tagged out.
Absolutely. And the first baseman actually made a good play on it. I mean, it was a nice, going down the line right there. You'll see here, the throw kind of sails a little bit. And it was a really nice play by the first baseman, but the good hustle by Reggie Schulte gives Backman a runner at first, or runners at first and second right now. Comes Matty Crawford. That ball is smoked. And that's going to plate Sammy. Reggie's going to hustle again to third base. Good awareness right there too. Making sure he had a chance to make third base and then taking advantage of it. Good hustle by Reggie.
Well, it just goes to show, the play at first where he does hustle. If he doesn't hustle, he gets tagged out, the inning's over.
Yep.
So by him hustling,
he's extended the inning.
Correct. They played it a run. See how many they can get with 2 outs here.
That ball is hit well and gone.
So, I mean, right there, we got a swing of, 4 runs?
Mm-hmm. Because of hustle.
Because of hustle.
That's right. And that gets LC jacked up and gets the team jacked up.
That's right.
So mark that down in your book as a big moment in the game right
there.
Sure. That was a big play.
It's a turning point right there, Mike.
Yep. Here's Jeff LaHare. Tries to.
Still would like to see him swing the bat.
Yep.
Don't place
Still
it.
trying to guide one instead of just hitting it. Ball's hit hard. Nice play at third base. The throw and the pick at first for the out. Very fine play on both sides of the infield right there. But Backman shop.
They separate.
Separates a little bit, and they did it all with 2 outs, which was very impressive. So good job by Backman shop, and we go to the top of the 5th inning. Backman 16, TG Brand 4.
Since day one, combat has been at the forefront of composite bats. In today's game, where margins for error are small, Combat's larger sweet spot means our bats reach maximum performance over a wider span. It's the difference between a home run or a warning track, a base hit through the middle or hitting into a double play. It's the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, there's Backman.
Yep. That's right, yeah. That's what I thought.
Nice play. Pickett.
Nice play. Oh.
Got it.
And we just saw it. A couple web gems this last inning, and now here's one here from third to first.
Great play by Sammy Lopez.
Now, T.G. Brand's got to do something here because we're starting to get run rule country.
Right.
So,
yeah, they got to get some men on base.
Yep.
Are they going to challenge the call? Say he was off the bag.
Yeah, if we can get a replay on that, let's take a closer look here. That fan right there doesn't look convinced, but let's see what happens here. As he's partaking in a cold beverage.
He lost his shoe.
Yep. He was doing good there for a minute.
Ken and Tony are talking it over.
Once again, we have a fine veteran umpiring staff out here tonight.
The call stands. And we have one out.
And Riley's still making his way up those bleachers. That ball's hit well. That's going to be a base hit. Cole Campbell aboard at first base. And that brings up Dis Bennett, the right fielder. Now this is some good walk-up music here.
Did you ever
Little
figure
Tom
out?
Sawyer.
Did you ever figure out what
I
yours
remember
might
what
be?
song it was. It's actually, I'll tell you after this here. Now I'm going to tell you that right there is one of the toughest plays in baseball or softball. When that ball's hit directly over your shoulder like that.
Yeah, that was a tough play for him going all that way and kind of behind him and over him.
Yep.
We'll take another look at it here. He had a beat on it, and it was kind of out there in no man's land. Didn't look like Reggie was even close to it.
No, that was definitely, Lahair had the only play on that ball right there. But that's a very tough play, and anybody that's ever played shortstop or third base and had that happen to you knows that's a hard read. So we got a little bit of a threat here for TG. And that ball's lined.
Had him played.
Yep. Perfectly played there. Good positioning by the defense. Matty. One Republic, When the Love Runs Out.
You like that? That's your walk-up?
Yeah, that would be my walk-up song.
That'll get you pumped up?
Yeah.
Start dropping bombs?
Yep.
Of course.
I'd probably just flip one over into right. I ain't worried about that.
Use your speed?
Use my speed, yep. Ball skied. Looks like Logan's going to collect that, and that'll be it for TG. So here's a chance here for Backman to put this game on ice here as we go to the bottom of the fifth, 16-4, Backman.
You like end load?
Do you like a huge sweet spot? You're gonna love these. Enjoy the show.
Holy cow. Oof. Well, we're in the bottom of the fifth. Ryan Harvey just hit a missile off the flags in left field. So that's 17-4. 2 more runs will short game TG. Got Kennington to the plate.
That ball smoked, but foul. That ball's lined hard and caught. Boy, Orlando's hit a couple hard balls in this game. He hit a long ball out of here last time, Chitty.
Yeah, this is the inning where Backman just needs to get these 2 runs, put it away.
Close it out. Yep.
Finish the night and get ready for tomorrow.
Yep.
It's like you said earlier, don't let these guys hang around.
Yep. Well, when you look at each Backman inning, one good thing about it is you see runs scored every inning. Now, T.G. Brandt's perspective, you look at it, you got 1 inning where they scored, and you got 4 zeros. So, if you're going to play one of the upper level teams at this caliber, you've got to mark every inning.
That was close.
Yeah, that was. I couldn't really see because of where the catcher was standing, but it did look close.
Did it come around the plate?
Yep. It looked. It's a nice play by Welly there, but he's not in a position to make a throw. Good hustle by Baggs there. You could see he was kind of cheating toward the middle, and then by the time he figured out, hit the brakes and came back, it was too late. And here's Big Sammy. Now with 2 outs and a guy at first and obviously a run rule situation before us here, I'm thinking Sammy's thinking one thing, and I don't know. I'm not sure if they're going to pitch to Sammy or not.
Well, with Logan being on deck, he's a home run threat as well.
Right.
So
and then you got Schulte coming up behind him. So
right.
it's
so
kind of a pick
your poison.
Yep. Looks like we got a little bit of a controversy going on down there.
So it looks like Ken Hawk is asking one of the coaches to leave the dugout for whatever reason it might be.
I'm sure it maybe has something to do with that ball that the umpire called the ball and it looked like a strike. Could also be a move by the coaching staff to kind of freeze the hitter a little bit, you know.
And that's quite possible.
Yep.
Sammy being a veteran, I don't think that's going to affect him too much, though.
I wouldn't think so. Now, see, that's discipline right there, because he's obviously looking for something to drive, possibly pull, and he took that pitch. That ball skied high, and that's not going to make it. So T.G. Brand survives. So we will move to the top of the 6th inning here at Champion Stadium, and the score is Backman 17, T.G. Brand 4.
USSSA is the world's premier sports organization with over 4 million participants. The top youth baseball stars compete at the Wilson DeMarini Elite World Series and the Louisville Slugger Championship, looking to qualify for the USSSA National Youth Championships. In fast pitch, the top teenagers are on the field with USA Select, and the best in the world are on the USSSA Florida Pride. Nationwide Conference USSSA provides the ultimate challenge in slow pitch softball. At every level, you play the best when you play USSSA.
You like inload? Do you like a huge sweet spot? You're gonna love these. Enjoy the show.
And we're back here, folks, Champion Stadium. And just had a very hard hit ball down the third baseline. Sammy Lopez squared up in front of it, knocked it down, but was not able to get the runner going to first base. So T.G. Brand's got a runner at first base with nobody out, and Steve Whaley stepping into the plate. Steve collided with the second baseman earlier today, but looks like he's okay, and he rips a ball through the gap there in the infield, and that's going to move base runners up, and we got runners at first and second now. Brian No step into the plate. So we'll see what No can do here. Try to keep T.G. Brand in this game. And that's a ball 4, so we've got a walk now. Now we have the bases loaded, so we're in a very, very interesting situation brewing here. We've got the bases loaded, we've got nobody out. T.G. Brand trailing Backman 17-4 right now. And this could be a big part in the, or a big spot in the game, and that ball is hammered off the roof of the batting cages. That's a grand slam home run. That ball was absolutely tattooed. So John Greer has delivered a huge blow here for T.G. Brand and puts them even closer to striking distance now, folks. This game is starting to tighten up a little bit here. Did you get him? Justin Evans will step in. So we're at 17-8 here, folks. T.G. Brand mounting a little bit of a rally. That ball's hit well to center, but Logan's going to collect that. We do have a defensive move made by Backman here. We have Kyle Cowart in right field now, a man affectionately known as Flea.
And Chitty moves to first, and Harvey's behind the plate.
Kyle Cowart, one of the more colorful players in the conference, hails from Valdosta, Georgia. One of my favorites. Always got a smile on his face. Plays with a lot of enthusiasm.
He's been around for a long time as well.
He really has.
He's been playing this. I mean, you really don't know how long he's been in this league, but it's been a good, 20 years?
I mean, I don't know if it's been 20 years, but it's been a while, and I can tell you that if you look at him today, he doesn't look much different than he did 15 years ago.
No.
But he's always got a smile on his face. He's a good-hearted guy, and always enjoy being around him. He's pretty funny. As you can see him out there doing, I don't know, some kind of dance rendition or something, but he always brings a sense of humor to the game, which you got to like. So 1 out, 1 man aboard here in a 17-8 contest, and that ball, just made it by Watson and then slid by the second baseman. What I guess you'd call a seeing eye single. So things are starting to get a little interesting here. Runners in first and second with 1 out. TG still trailing Backman 17-8. Ball skied for out number 2. So we got 2 outs here. Again, 17-8 score. And this is a big swing right here. This Bennett steps in. He's the right fielder. This is a big spot in the game right here, DT.
Most definitely.
This could shift momentum quite a bit if this Bennett's able to drive it out of here, or at least get one of these runs in. And he goes the other way. And, Baggs misplays the ball at first base. And
handcuffed him.
Yep. Probably was not expecting that hard a throw. But again, credit Dis Bennett for hustling down the line.
Now let's see if that comes back and to haunt Backman's shop, not getting that third out there.
That's going to bring up Gastineau. Gastineau's a pretty good hitter too, so this is, as you can see there, that's going to plate probably 2 runs there. So that's a big error at first base right now in this game, as TG has narrowed this contest. 17-11 Backman. So we've got ourselves a ball game here. That ball there is hammered. That ball is gone.
Wow.
So all of a sudden, what looked like a situation where Backman was taking complete control of this game, weren't able to close him out in the bottom of the fifth. And now T.G. Brand's got a little momentum going. And it's 17-14.
Well, as you can see, Larry Petruccio's headed to the mound, talk to the guys, calm them down, regroup, refocus, figure out a way to get this third out so we can get back in, score some runs.
So Joey Dorton steps in here. And that ball's hammered up the middle for a base hit. It's 17-13 here. It looks like the scoreboard on the stadium board and the scoreboard we have here on USSSA live stream, they've corrected it. So we got a 17-13 score here, folks. This has become a very, very interesting game now. Steve Whaley steps in. Wow. That ball hit that pole, bounced back. Lucky somebody didn't get hit with that. That's a good point by our public address announcer. I don't think I've ever seen that pole get hit either. I've been coming here many, many years. So here's Whaley with the runner at first, still 2 outs. So Backman trying to find that last out. And Whaley hits it hard to the shortstop. Good play over there by LaHare. So T.G. Brand makes a nice little run here, folks. It's 17-13 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. See what Backman Shop can do. And we're back here at Champion Stadium, Disney Wide World of Sports, USSSA Men's Major World Series. Logan hits that ball high to center field, and that's going to be collected for out number 1. So Backman Shop's got a little work to do here, DT.
Yeah, with Logan there leading off the inning, I'd like to see him put the ball on the ground and utilize his speed. You know, get on base. Let's get this inning started. You got Schulte behind him, Crawford coming up.
You know, again, we've seen that time after time. You know, there's some parts of this park that, you know, you're really going to have to step on it to get it out of here. And, you know, I'm sure he was probably just trying to find a gap somewhere. But, you know, end result is we have 1 out here. Reggie hits that ball, and I don't know if – oh, that ball's hit up on the scoreboard there. That ball was mashed. Nice swing by Reggie. He's got that laying up there where looks like a couple baseballs are from the Braves.
Yeah, and he's using the Sonic Plus, the one-piece bat. You know, bunch of different guys on the Backman team are using the Z4s, the Super Zs, which is a new 2-piece bat. So, just like all the other bat manufacturers coming out with different types of bats that complement different types of swings.
Right.
You guys have it at Worth. We have it here at Slugger, and as the other manufacturers do as well. So,
and one thing you can see our shot there, one of the bat crates, a large variety of bats offered by all the manufacturers. Again, to kind of fit any player's swing. End load balanced. The reality is there are a lot of good bats out there, and that was a pretty good bat right there as that ball was blasted off the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about the Sonic Plus being the one piece. It's a hammer. I mean, it's a very end-loaded bat.
I notice your bigger, stronger guys, they always prefer, people always say, well, who likes the one piece, who likes the two piece? The one piece bat, with a slightly more rigid profile and everything, some of your really big, strong guys, like you said, a hammer.
That have a bigger load, bigger aggressive swing.
Yep. They prefer those bats, and you can see the end result of Matty's right there. He really just absolutely blasted that one. And that got up there in a hurry, too. That didn't take long for it to reach that scoreboard. LC hits a hard line drive foul. LC had a big home run last at bat, I believe. It was kind of in the same spot, just kind of pulled it right down the line there. He hammers that ball to the right center field gap, and that's going to be collected for out number 2. So we're still sitting in a fairly close game right here. Obviously, T.G. Brand's got some work to do as they come up in the top of the 7th, but this has been a pretty good game. It looked like it could have swung either way in that one pivotal inning. And,
right.
Here we are in a 6-run game, so.
So it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for Jeff LaHare. Looks like Billy Barrett, the backup pitcher, is going to come in and take a cut and see if he can't get the score to 20 runs for Backman.
Now, Billy likes a heavy bat.
Yeah.
He always has. He's always swung a 30 or 28.
Correct.
He's, I can remember him back from when I was sponsoring one of the Sinister teams with bats. You don't get a lot of people asking you for 30-ounce bats anymore these days, but Billy was one of them. Billy's also a good, he's a really fine backup pitcher, too. I mean, he can be a starting pitcher for a lot of teams. He's, pretty crafty on the mound. Got a good attitude, too. He doesn't get too up or too down.
Right.
He's got a good level head on him. So, always liked Billy. And as you can see, they're a pretty smart guy, too. He realizes who's hitting behind him, so there's no sense in swinging at something that, is not a strike. So, they'll probably put a pinch runner here. I'm sure.
LaHare will re-enter, run the bases.
Yep. So here comes Ryan Harvey. Last time he was up, we know what ball go far.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
They say fear the beard.
Yeah. That ball there is blasted and gone.
And he likes the Sonic Plus, the one-piece bat.
And we can see why.
Correct.
Now, again, you look at from when he made contact with that ball to how long it took it for going out of this park. I don't have a stopwatch, but it didn't take long. Now, I noticed Flea's swinging the Sonic, which, I'm a little surprised. But, Kyle's got deceptive power.
Oh, yeah.
And here at Disney, where we know the lefties usually thrive, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that right there, if that stays fair. It'll be foul. But I've seen Kyle hit some, quite a few home runs in this park. Nice piece of hitting by Kyle there.
Took what was given to him, kept the ball in play.
Yep.
Got himself on first base, kept the rally going.
Kept his head down on the ball and just kind of guided it over there.
Give it to the next player and pass it on down the line.
Yep. Now, obviously, every run that they score here is huge. So, because the more pressure they can put on TG going into the next inning, you know. And that ball is smoked in the left field, and that's going to bring Flea around second into third base, and Orlando's got him a stand-up single, and it's going to be interesting to see what Mr. Baggs does here.
So you know he's thinking about the air.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to try to want to redeem himself.
Yep. Yep. I got a feeling I kind of know what his MO here is going to be. Ball's just a little outside. That ball is hammered. Foul. Foul. Still have a few fans left out there in the House Cat Lounge. That ball's well hit past the second baseman. That's going to plate Flea. Orlando's going to come around to third base, and we got runners at the corners now. So nice little answer by Backman here, you know. Obviously breaking a little bit of the momentum that TG had.
Yeah, and like you said, you know, keep separating from TG.
Yep, make them chase. Here comes Sam Lopez. Big man from Northern California. I believe it's Danuba. And he hammers one into the 5-6 hole. That's going to plate another run. So Backman's doing what they needed to do right here. And again, keep separating. Keep making them chase. Looks like TG's going to call a timeout here. I don't know if they're going to make a pitching change or they're just trying to slow things down here. Looks like Doc's got some words of wisdom for him. Sam's enjoying a chat with Tony.
I think they're probably talking about where they're going to get some pizza after the game.
Yeah. Well, we're at we're closing in on the 11 o'clock hour here, so
it's been a long day.
Yeah.
You know, the 8th game of the day. Been here since the first one.
You bet you have been here.
I've been here the
long
whole
time
day.
today. I have to give you credit on that.
I'm a little tired.
Yeah,
I
you've
won't
been a
lie.
gamer today.
It's been tough.
Yeah. Well. Tomorrow I think we'll sit Denny down over there and he'll hold the fort down all day down there in the proverbial left field lounge. I'm not sure, but Ken Hawk seems to be enjoying the conversation. He's got a smile on his face. Not sure what that was all about, but no pitching change. Steve Whaley gives a little bit of a chuckle as he walks back to his middle infield position. And here comes Logan back in the box. He smokes that ball into the right center field gap. That's going to plate 2 runs.
He might have an inside the Parker here.
With his wheels, I'm not surprised they're going
They're
to send
sending him.
He's going to score. Inside the park home run for Brian Logan.
Just like that, it's a 9-run inning for Backman. They matched the 9 from T.G. Brand in the top, and now stepped into the box for Reggie Schulte.
That ball skied to center field. Actually right center, and
That's
gone.
another home run.
Boy, Reggie's really, really seeing it right now.
I mean, he's, we're talking about the cone earlier. He's hitting it in the cone and through it.
Gone. Well, he just blasted one off the scoreboard earlier, and then that ball there hits the facade on the other side. And when he first hit that, it looked like it was just a deep fly ball. And look at that ball just carry off the beautiful Jumbotron here at Champion Stadium. Matty Crawford.
Is he trying to do the same thing?
Looks like it.
Oh, off the wall.
Yep. No, they're not going to score it. So Matt Crawford rips one almost in the same spot, just a little shorter, and gets himself a triple. That brings L.C. Watson up to the plate. They're going to have to put somebody on here because now we're in a run rule situation again, DT.
Yep.
15 after 5.
So we'll see what LaHare can do.
LaHare hits that ball down the line and just foul.
Wow.
I think I agree with what you were saying earlier. I'd really like to see LaHare just kind of throw them hands and go after one right here instead of trying to.
Instead of place it, needs to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, just you got a good situation here. I mean, you got a runner at third. Second base is open, obviously. We've been talking about the gaps here in this outfield. There's really a lot of room out there. Let's see what he does here. I'm sure he's going to make an adjustment here and try to maybe get the ball maybe just to the pitcher's glove side. And instead he goes the other side and delivers a base hit, and that's going to be your ball game, folks.
Backman shot.
28-13, Backman shot. Good job.
That ends the day.
Yep. It's been a pleasure working with you again, DT and Denny.
You as well.
So we'll see you
bright and early.
Bright and early tomorrow. Folks, have a good night from Champion Stadium, Disney Wide World of Sports. Mike Cornell and Dennis Turner saying good night, everybody.
Backman shot wins the nightcap by 15.